I live in a city called Rodrigues Alves, and in order to do my job, I ride my motorcycle. And also my boat. And in certain places it's necessary to walk. I have been an Adventist for 5 years. Yes, 5 years. And I learned about the ministry of literature evangelism in a spiritual retreat here in Rodrigues Alves. And at this event, Pastor Jose was also present with his wife and his assistant. And there he talked about literature evangelism. They were all listening to the message. And when he spoke about canvassing, I felt something. Well, it seemed that something different had happened to me. I had the same feeling when I saw my wife for the first time. And I felt like someone was calling me. Someone was saying that message was for me. I was sitting next to my wife, and I said the following to her. I have the courage to become a canvasser.
I said to him, "You want to be a canvasser?" I was the first to discourage him because that canvassing business, selling books, was such a thing that no one could imagine what would happen or how it would turn out.
Then the days went by. At that time I was working, making charcoal.
When we worked with charcoal, it was very difficult. It was him, me, and the children.
That's when I began to pray to God, asking the Lord if it was He who was calling me to be a canvasser.
The day he told me he was going to sell the farm to go out canvassing, I tried to discourage him again. I said, "How are we going to live? This isn't gonna work."
So I said to Glacy, "But the Lord is the owner of gold and silver. He is going to sustain us. He will sustain us because if the work is His, if it is He who is calling me, He is going to sustain us." When I started canvassing, I was very afraid to talk to people who had more knowledge than me. And one day, when I was passing in front of the house of the school principal, I felt like stopping. And it was there where I sold my first collection. She agreed to study the Bible and made the decision to be baptized.
When Brother Juneisson arrived here, offering me the material and I bought it, I felt that his invitation for me to study came from the Lord Himself. It came from our God, because God saw that I needed it. I feel that I'm going to be able to understand, to know the truth, and I'm going to be baptized.
In the past, he would spend 2 or 3 days away from home, drinking alcohol with all his friends, involved in worldly things. Now he continues to go out, but now he is dedicated to canvassing. That's what he does.
The reality here in our district is very challenging. It's not that easy. The geography of the district is very complex, very extensive. We have to ride a motorcycle, we have to ride a boat, and in some places, we can arrive by car.
While I was out canvassing, I never made a sale that was paid with a card. Only in cash or by special order. And when I come to a house in an isolated community, most of the time they have no money. I sell in exchange for products, fruits, hens many times, flour, and I take them to the city to sell them. And that's how I recoup the value of the material.
And when we have people like that who support us in the ministry, like Juneisson, that relieves us a lot of work. This is true and helps us so much.
During those 3 years of canvassing, I have brought 16 people to baptism, and there are 14 people who are now preparing to be baptized.
Since I came to this district, I had the privilege of baptizing several people who were led to make the decision by the direct influence of Juneisson's work.
Juneisson is an example of the community because you can see from what he was to what he is today and the way he lives. He is an example because not everyone has the courage and guts that he has. Due to the example of Juneisson and the importance of literature evangelism, I see that many people in this world need to be reached. Where the pastor can't go, the canvasser can go. That is why I have decided to be a canvasser.
The ministry of our canvasser, Juneisson, is very interesting. The way he works, the way he inspires people's lives. He goes by boat. He takes the little boat he has and goes up the river and reaches some communities, where he makes friends with the young people and with the families. He offers Bible studies, sells the manuals, talks about canvassing to these young people, and many of them are already canvassing today, as is the case of Cassio and also Mateus.
I was in the field. I was getting ready to leave, and when I was going out, he was arriving. He stopped on the motorcycle, and we had a conversation. He told me about canvassing and how it worked. So I went.
And when he showed me the book, The Life of Jesus, I was so shocked and said, wow, that job's not just about health, it involves God. So we talked. Juneisson and I talked with the family about how those manuals, about how God acted in our lives, and I really analyzed my life and said, this is the path I want to follow. This is the way that God will take me further.
Literature evangelism changed our lives. It changed the way we educate our children, the way we relate to and love one another as a couple, and how we relate to other people.
We were chosen by God to do this job, and I don't see any other job I can do in the days we live in but preach the gospel to families.